Good morning, everyone. I am Anton Chirkunov, and over the next 10 minutes, I will introduce you to the company I founded and run day-to-day as CEO, Willy, where we are building a chauffeur service catered towards affluent people. We're now in 3 of the 10 largest global markets. These are Moscow, London, and St. Petersburg, and Paris. And our goal is to build a $100 million GMV business in every single one of those cities. Each market we're in currently is at a different life cycle. So Moscow, we're 7 years in. London, we're just about 2 years in. And we've just launched Paris a month ago. We pick markets based on 2 factors. One is market size, and this creates a natural focus on tier 1 cities. And the second one is regulatory, where we avoid highly regulated markets with high barriers to entry. We have 3 main product lines, and the main one is the consumer application, which accounts for 90% of our business. It is the highest rated ride-hailing app in all 3 app stores in the countries where we operate. It's important to understand that we're both on demand, with an average pickup time of less than 10 minutes, and we take in advance reservations as well. And another interesting thing is we have this comment box where passengers, they sometimes put in special requests like pick up flowers and deliver them. And from a product perspective, we use this as well to figure out what we want to build next. So for example, we noticed that people started to enter names and phone numbers because they were requesting journeys on behalf of someone. Say they had a relative flying in late at night. And we didn't want chauffeurs to see passenger phone numbers from a privacy perspective. So we've built this into the app where you press a button, select a contact from the list, and the passenger is going to get a link to track the driver. We do both intercity and long distance, such as airports. Our airports currently account for 20% of our business. And while intercity journeys are priced by time and distance traveled, for airports, we would typically do flat rates. So for example, from here in East London to Heathrow, it is going to be 60 British pounds in a business class and 90 in first class. And for journeys from the airport, we would do everything from flight tracking to having drivers greet you with a name board at arrivals. And then some users used the service so much that their finance departments got tired of expensing their journeys. So we've built business accounts which let users request journeys using the same consumer app, but charge it to their business account. It lets PAs request journeys for guests, and the company gets a single invoice at the end of the month. This accounts currently for 5% of our business, and we believe there's a huge upside here, and this could account for 20 to 25%. And then we've built also something we call privileges. The point is that most perks offered by banks or card brands, they have become must-haves, such as, for example, airport lounge access. Everyone is doing it. And so we wanted to help them figure out new ways to drive customer loyalty. So for example, as a private banking client, you would get 10 complimentary airport journeys per year. You would be able to redeem them in the app, and this is seamless. We would use card numbers as our simplest way of integration. And this is an usage-based model where the bank or card brand would pay only for actually redeemed journeys. On the supply side, we're a managed marketplace. We do not own or operate the vehicles. Rather than that, we're going to work with professional chauffeurs who bring their own vehicle, or with small chauffeur companies. And we, of course, beyond statutory requirements like licensing and commercial insurance, we're going to vet drivers. This means they have basically to pass a geography test because we don't want them to rely purely on navigation. And we also implemented service standards that cover everything from opening doors, waiting 20 minutes after a car has arrived before considering that the customer hasn't shown up, or silent journeys by default. In terms of service lines, our most popular class is business, which is typically an E-class of 5 series. First, which is an S-class, and Excel, which is our family option. In terms of metrics, we've just hit a $90 million gross booking run rate. Users use us on average 5 times per month. 97% of journeys are repeat journeys. And this customer loyalty allows us to be profitable, of course, except in newer markets like Paris. And this year, we raised a 15 Series B, bringing the total to 28 million. Over the next year, we're focused on building out the business into 3 markets we're in. We're going to launch Côte d'Azur next year, and then prepare to expand beyond Europe. That's it for today. Thank you very much.